Lead Her Forward, a celebration of girls and women in sports on ESPN Wisconsin, continues with volleyball players Sarah Franklin and Devyn Robinson. Thank you guys both so much for joining me. Devyn, welcome back. Running it back this year.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Tell us a little bit about how you guys began playing collegiate volleyball. Like, how did you guys end up at Wisconsin? Sarah, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, I played at Michigan State for my first 2 years. I enjoyed it there. But, I wanted some bigger and better things and looked into the transfer portal, and a lot of the culture and a lot of the things that all the girls were talking about here and all the coaches just aligned exactly with what I wanted, blue collar worker and doing a lot of stuff just to push ourselves to be our best. And so I was like, Wisconsin's where it's at. So ended up transferring here and I've loved it ever since.
Love it.
Well, I got started in volleyball because of my dad, actually. I think I've told this story before, but I'm going to say it again.
We love hearing it. It's okay.
And because my dad's a basketball coach, so everything was, I'm going to go to the WNBA, I'm going to do this and that. And then he brought me to a volleyball clinic when I was like in third grade. And I hated like every moment of it until like the very end when we were scrimmaging and a ball was going to the floor and nobody was going for it. So I was like, I guess I'll go for it. And I dove for it. I don't even remember if I got that ball up or not, but I remember getting this huge bruise on my hip and I was like, that was awesome. Like, Mom, can you sign me up for this? And then that's when I really stopped playing basketball and went to volleyball. Then during the recruiting process, I came to Wisconsin and Kelly was like, yeah, like you're a really good player, but you're not good enough to come here yet. And I was like, Oh, what do you mean? What do you mean I'm not good enough? I was like, all right, though, I'll go show you that I'm good enough to come here to Wisconsin. So I went out and I trained and worked on all the things he told me I need to work on. And then he offered me after my last club tournament. And I was like, yeah, I want to come here.
Awesome. What's it like playing for a coach like Kelly Sheffield that does seem to just motivate women? He's so supportive of women, like constantly. I feel like we've seen it on his Twitter, right? Like, he's so supportive. What's it like playing for somebody like that?
I think it's great. I think looking for a new coach when I was transferring, that's exactly what I wanted. I want someone who was going to be really good at being able to explain and empower the women that he's coaching, because he's not just helping us on the court. He's helping us off the court and to be able to get job interviews and do well in all of those scenarios. So I think it's fantastic that he's able to do that. He has 2 little girls as well, and I think he's able to translate that. And he sees us as his kids almost, just that he's raising us and helping us grow throughout college and to be the best that we can be as an adult as well.
Yeah, that's one of the things that really drew me to Wisconsin, is that how supportive he is of women's sports, even in general. Even when Nebraska got their, like, I think it was 90,000 people who came, like everyone was super supportive of it. And it's nice to see like a coach like post things about that. Even when we won the national championship, posting about like how we should get more viewers, even though we had like 1.2 million watching that game. It's like, how can we get more? How can we do more for these women?
Right. And I mean, your guys' Final Four game against Texas, like that drew in 1.1 million people just for your guys' game alone, breaking television records. I mean, what's it like playing in a sport that you know that you have the support of the country? And I feel like it's just going to continue growing, right? Like, what is that like?
I think it's awesome. I think sharing the love that all of us have for volleyball with everyone else is one of my favorite things for sure. And to see everyone light up when they watch a game, it's like everyone gets hooked because it is such a fast-paced game and such a game that you can kind of enjoy without fully knowing the details behind it. And then you look at the details and you're like, wow, there's so much more to this game than you can even expect. So I love being able to share that and see how many more people are enjoying the game. I think is fantastic.
Yeah, I feel like it's growing so fast, especially with these past couple of years since I've been in college. It's grown so much, and it's just nice to see everyone, like how Sarah said, just watch the sport and not even know too much about it. Because I had some people come up to me after a game and be like, this is my first game and I'm hooked. Like, I love Wisconsin volleyball. You guys are my favorite now. It's like, I don't even know what's going on. I was like, oh, I'm glad you had fun, because I love being on a stage where there's might be so many people in the crowd who have never seen volleyball, and for them to get to experience it here at Wisconsin is awesome.
No, that's totally, I love that. And it's weird, like we're in the field house. It's completely empty right now. I'm almost, when I walked in here, I'm like, this is intimidating being here when it's completely empty. Like, I don't know how you guys play in front of thousands of people, but something I noticed, like when I came to a couple games this year, is like, I love your guys' fan base. It's not just college students. It's not just drunk students or whatever. Like, there's families, there's kids with signs for you guys. There's older people here that are here to support. And I just think it's such an inclusive and fun sport. And like you said, it is so just fast paced that it's exciting, and it's quick too. Like, I brought my baby And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm very nervous about being here with him. Like, whatever, propped him up. The game was over in like an hour and a half. A match, I'm sorry if I'm saying the wrong words, but like it was over in an hour and a half, but I was like, I wanted to keep going. It was just so exciting. And just seeing your guys' like team dynamic is so exciting too. But what's it like being on a campus like UW? They have the football program, they have the basketball program, like good programs with good history, all the things. How is like your guys' vibe on campus? Do people approach you all the time saying like, we love watching you? What is that like?
Yeah, it happens a lot actually. And I absolutely love it when people come up to us because it's just, I love playing for people that love to watch because it's just so much more fun. And being able to interact with those people, I think is really, really cool because you don't just see it as like a fan base. You can actually put a face behind the people that are coming to support you. And I just think it's great whenever it happens. And, I never thought I'd be in a position like that to have people, enjoy something so much that I just like to play. I just like to play volleyball and people are like, this is awesome to watch. And so I just think it's really cool when people do come up and say stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah, especially when we go to like other sporting events. Like we went to the women's basketball game this past Sunday, and obviously we're wearing like volleyball clothes, but people come up to be like, oh my gosh, you girls are so amazing, or they'll grab you, be like, oh, you've really just made my fall. I'm like, that is why I do it, because I love when little girls come up to me and they're shy and they're like, oh, I love watching you, or they'll just randomly give you a hug and run away. It's like that's what it's all about.
That's awesome. For like NIL deals, we always hear about like the big deals that men get. How does that look for your guys' team? Like, are your teammates getting some NIL deals now that we've been kind of in it for a couple of years, it feels like? Are you guys getting more recognition in terms of that?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot more NIL growing, especially in Madison. And, I think restaurants and companies and things in the Madison area are figuring out more about it because when it first started, there's a lot of gray area. So I think everyone's getting a lot more comfortable with it. So we're able to kind of have those conversations and have those deals that we can say, hey, I'd love to work with you and put something together, which I think is awesome because you can continue to grow your community around Madison. And I think it's really cool being able to do that and put yourself out there as an athlete as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I feel like being in UW athletics helps a lot because there's a lot of support with NIL here. We have like a certain NIL department that helps us like navigate contracts and talk to businesses and negotiate prices and things. And a lot of our stuff goes through them too with the Varsity Collective. That helps a lot with like a lot of team organized things where we go to people's houses and hang out with them for a couple hours and make some money. So it's been really nice, especially with such a successful program at UW Volleyball.
That's awesome. Now, Sarah, you had some health issues prior to this past season. Tell us about like going from being like, I might never play volleyball again to holy crap, we're in the Final Four. We're close to competing for a national title again. What was that like, and like what was the support from your team like?
Yeah, it was definitely something very hard to go through, and I think that there could have been no better place to go through that than here. The support that I had from the coaching staff and the support that I had from every one of these girls was immense, and I felt like they were behind me no matter what. And so I really wanted to get back for them. I knew that they were going to be behind me every step of the way, and we kind of, just jumped right in as soon as I was able to do everything. And I think that was really exciting, and being able to build off of that. And I had a lot of personal growth as well through that, just being able to understand like, volleyball isn't going to last forever. And kind of having that little scare, I think motivated me just a little bit more to be able to really be my best and excel in that year. So I think that pushed me a lot, and being able to get to that point, I think was awesome. But we still have a lot more growing to do, and a lot more that we want to accomplish there.
Absolutely. I love it. What does it mean to be a woman in sports to you guys?
For me, I do it for all like the little girls that watch us, even little boys too, just young children watching us live out our dreams and getting to interact with them after the game. I love how we have like our kids row during the games. We get to go high five them after they announce the starting lineups. And even for the older crowd that comes up to me, it's like, this was one of my first volleyball games and I'm 67. I'm just like, oh, I was like, you're 67 years young. Like just getting to interact with people and just being in a community where you're so supported is why I do it.
Yeah, I completely agree with all of that, and just being able to know that there is something bigger than you, I think is really cool. And having so many little girls who, when I was younger, I was looking up to all the girls that were doing this kind of stuff, and I just think it's fantastic to be that role model a little bit, because I have, my old club coach, she has her granddaughters and they look up to me like crazy. And it's like, I can be that for them, and I can kind of model what just, good people and good interactions and are like. And I think it's really, really cool to have that much of an impact on another generation. I think is a really big role, but I know I absolutely love it.
I love that. Well, I think you guys are both killing it in terms of each of those goals. Like that's like, it's crazy. I think even just in our office, like we have some guys that have little daughters and they love coming to the games. They love being here and just the atmosphere and everything. But if you guys could give advice to any of those little girls, what would it be?
I would say keep going, even if it scares you, even if you're nervous. Always push yourself to do more than you think you can, because you can do it and way more. And that's what I wish I would have told myself when I was younger. Just don't be scared to do things that may seem scary or bigger than you, because you're up to the task.
Yeah, I love that. I think there's some times where you can get into a rut or a struggle, but just being able to find the joy of whatever you're doing, because everyone has their little niche. And once you find your little niche, you can kind of grow that and be able to share that with others. And I think that is a really cool thing, and for me, that's volleyball. And, for other people, that might be something else, but just being able to find something that you really, really enjoy and being able to share that with people, I think is a really cool thing.
I love it. Well, this is Lead Her Forward. We continue on next.